Your big takeaway, will it be about Nari Shakti and the Yuva? Because, that is going to be the talking point going ahead, understanding their electoral role as well.
Well, first of all, on the current breaking news that Vishnu just read out, remember, we live in the realm of narrative economics now, and this is a lesson for the journalists, that behind a lot of news, breaking news and clarifications by different departments, remember, these are not always benign things that happen. We are in the realm of narrative economics, and narrative building is very much a part of international relations now. Now, going beyond that, as far as the budget is concerned, I think it's all about continuity. And it has been made repeatedly, clarified repeatedly that, look, the vision is really 2047. And the fact that we are going into a general election should not really impede in any way the kind of fiscal consolidation and the long-term structural sort of growth path that we have embarked upon in the last 9-10 years now. So for me, it's really, it's continuity. As I also mentioned earlier, that, a lot of the achievements of the last 10 years have been hard fought. If you consider the, cleaning up of the banks, if you consider the kind of effort that has gone into expanding amenities to the bottom 20%, the kind of effort that has gone into repeat allocations to not just capex, but also meeting the sort of the timelines and the deadlines in terms of expansion of, capex across the country for core infrastructure development, communications, connectivity, etc. So you are really seeing more of the same. And of course, what has now emerged again as a part of that long-term structural vision is that there will be core focus on Gyan, which are the 4 new castes that the Prime Minister repeatedly speaks about, which are the Garib, and therefore this push on amenities. And you have seen that in the multidimensional poverty, what has been happening. It directly impacts the bottom 2 quintiles, so the poorest people in the society. Youth you are seeing repeatedly, not just in terms of newer allocations and newer announcements, but I've noticed through the series of conversations that different channels are having, that there are questions on unemployment. And I think it needs to be clarified that, I'm not going to quote private data set, because proprietary private data, I mean, they aren't really as representative or open source like the government data. So I will focus on the PLFS. And I really encourage others to replicate and verify it for themselves. But the PLFS is very clear that in the last 6 to 7 years, labor force participation rate, which means people of working age, whether they're either working or looking for work, that has steadily increased. We had less than 50% labor force participation rate. Today, that number is above 55%. And this is happening for every cohort, including one of the stickiest, the most tricky segment of the labor market, which is female labor force participation. On the unemployment rates, again, we are seeing across every demographic. About 7 years back, unemployment rate was around 6%. Today, if you see steadily over the last 7 years, today it is around 4%. And again, unemployment rate by itself has been falling for every demographic, across gender, different age groups. So there is reason to believe that, the long-term strategy is working. And therefore, it is not a surprise that not just because of COVID or the tumultuous sort of the global war tone and trade war tone global economy, we continue to surprise even World Bank, IMF estimates when their forecasts are repeatedly, corrected on the upper side. So I think, this budget really is done what it was supposed to do, which is continue.
Yes. So continuity is the big word as per Professor Ravi.
Shamika, one of the interesting aspects of this budget is this 1 lakh crore fund which has been created up. It does result potentially in massive job creation, but it's also about innovation, right? And that's what we want to do as far as our economy is concerned. Innovation, startups, ideas need to be given support, which the government, it seems, is willing to do with very easy terms. The term for repayment of the amount is 50 years. I mean, it's essentially free.
Yeah. No, it is, for me, in fact, this was one of the highlights. And the reason, Vishnu, is that, if you just look at the job scene, while unemployment rates are coming down for all demographics, if you just compare across different age groups, then there's clearly something going on with the youth, people from, let's say, 18 to 29 years of age. After 30, again, unemployment rates really drops, meaning people, they work. They do what they're supposed to do, earn a living and sort of support the family, etc. But the youth are willing to wait. And this is a global phenomenon, by the way. The OECD and the IMF, they call it youth inactivity, which is really a euphemism for saying, look, they're not actively creating value. They're just willing to wait out for something cool and right and appropriate for their interest. Now, that is happening in India as well. So youth unemployment is a concern if you think that what exactly do they want. And it is really to address that kind of a need that we really have to ignite a wider entrepreneurial sort of a spirit, unleash that within the society. And I think it's moving in that direction, that look, try out different things. So this is really for the most educated amongst the youth, this kind of innovation and access to technology and innovation. This whole fund that has been announced is catering to that segment, which appears to be holding back and taking exams after exams because they're really searching for what is appropriate to their interest. And just given the nature of global economy and the way the world is moving and the role of technology as far as businesses and just nature of economy is concerned, I think the future is in that direction. We really have to support entrepreneurial spirit, which means many will fail, but that means we also have to set expectations that without trying you don't get anywhere. So let's experiment and let's innovate, and the government is here to support, and that is why this for me this is quite an exciting announcement. Let's see how it unfolds.